Hey guys, what's up? Um, this is my first video on this account. I'm gonna be doing a full first round mock draft. It's gonna be every team, including the Eagles. So I'm sure that's what you guys are here to see, which I will do an Eagles mock draft in the future, rounds 1 through 7. But today it's just gonna be the first round with every team. It's not gonna have any, prior notes or anything like that. It's gonna be pretty much off the mind. Most of my mocks look pretty similar. I mean, this draft is pretty good, but most of the picks are kind of obvious. A lot of teams need a certain type of player, and they're looking to go with that. But right now, I'm going to be doing a full first round mock draft. So let's without further ado, let's get right into it. With the first pick, we have the Jaguars coming up, and I think the best player available here for the Jaguars is going to be an offensive lineman, Evan Neal. He's probably the best lineman in this draft. At least he is in my opinion. I think it's kind of obvious he is. Some people think otherwise, but he is kind of the best. There's really not much else to be about it. I mean, it's pretty obvious that coaches like taking offensive linemen and defensive ends first overall. History has kind of shown that. So most people kind of assume that Evan Neal will go first, either him or Aiden Hutchinson. But I have Evan Neal going first, and then I have Aiden Hutchinson going second. Another great defensive lineman, an edge rusher, which is something the Lions need. Both the Lions and the Jaguars need an edge rusher. They both need a lot of things, though. So right now we're going to go with the best D end in this entire class. Third overall, I think you could have Kyle Hamilton going here. I think you could have Kayvon Thibodeaux, who is what I'm going to pick. Kayvon Thibodeaux coming into this draft was probably seen as the first or second best player in this entire class. I don't think that's changed much. I don't necessarily think he's number one anymore, but he's still very good. And right now I'm going 3. Major area of need for the Texans is going to be an edge rusher. They lost a lot of players. I mean, they cut Zach Cunningham, who was never really an edge rusher, but as a stand-up linebacker, he was good. They got rid of him. You don't really have an edge rusher right now, Jonathan Grenard. Players like that. You need somebody else there. They lost DJ Reader. He was an interior lineman, but you lost him. You don't really have a whole lot. You don't really have that pure rusher off the edge that you would seriously need if you want to be successful. So I think they go Kayvon Thibodeaux here. Third overall, I'm gonna have probably another offensive lineman here. Another team that needs a lot. The Jets, and they're not the best. They need a lot going on here. I think an offensive lineman is what they could go with. Slide to right tackle aside Mekhi Becton. I think that'd be the best move possible for them. And Ekwam Wakanu. I'm not very good with names, but he's gonna be a good pick here. Fifth overall is the Giants. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the Giants. I mean, none of us really are. I think you could have them going with another offensive line here, Charles Cross. I think that's a very realistic pick. I personally don't think they will. Do they need safety help immediately right now? No. You have players like Xavier McKinney who have looked good. Jabril Peppers is still there. Logan Ryan for the time being. A lot of good safeties, but when you have a player like Kyle Hamilton, I think it's hard to pass up on him. He is absurd. I think he's probably the best player in this entire draft, arguably. He's amazing. I would love if the Eagles could get him, but obviously it's not likely they will. But I'm going to have the Giants going with him here. Panthers do not need another corner. So the 2 best players on the NFL mock draft or NFL Draft Network are not going to be going here. I do think you could see them going a lot of ways. I think you could see them going corner. I don't think they need one when you have J.C. Horn, Stephon Gilmore now, Dante Jackson, 3 very good players. I just don't see them needing one right now. But they don't really have like that obvious need. Like they don't have like that one position where it's like they really need. Besides, I think a quarterback. And do I realistically think that any of these quarterbacks are good enough to go 6th overall? I do not. But I do think they're going to go with Kenny Pickett here, who I believe is the best quarterback in this class. I don't think any of these quarterbacks are amazing in years past. You've had Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, players that were looked upon as top players in the class. I don't think you have one here. But nonetheless, I think they need to go quarterback there. The Giants, second pick in the first round, I think 100% is going to be an edge rusher. I think George Karlaftis is good, but I have seen a lot on him. I don't watch a ton of film. I like to be better than a casual fan, but I don't watch tons of film. Uh, but he, in my opinion, does not seem like the seventh best player in this class, according to this. I think David Ojabo is better, so I'm going to pick him. Interior lineman or not interior lineman. The Falcons, I think 100% go Derek Stingley here. Either Derek Stingley or another corner here. AJ Terrell is amazing, but then you have players like Isaiah Oliver, Kendall Sheffield, who are just not anywhere near the same tier. And I think you need that second corner to go next to AJ Terrell to lock down. And Derek Stingley was amazing a year ago or 2 years ago. Not as awesome anymore. He's not seen as the same player as he was before, but I still think he's very good, and I'm going to go with him here. Um, the Broncos do not need any entire position, obviously. I think they do need a quarterback, but again, I don't think any of these quarterbacks are amazing. I'm going to give them Matt Corral here, which I think is a major pick. Not a major pick, a major overdraft here. But I think when you are a very good team minus a quarterback, you need to take one when you need one. They don't need to go best player available anymore like some teams do. They need to pick the player they need, and that player they need is a quarterback. And do I think Sam Howell, Carson Strong? I think Malik Willis is a huge upside player, but he's not going to be in the first round, and he doesn't deserve to be, and that's okay. But he just doesn't need to be. So I'm going to go with Matt Corral here, who I don't think is amazing, but I think is somebody they very much need to pick right now. With the Jets coming up, I think a wide receiver. I mean, the Jets need so much edge rusher. I think George Karlaftis is possible here. Corner, across the line, tight. I mean, they really need everything. But you have Elijah Moore, you have Corey Davis. Do I think they should go with another player to pair with them? I think it's entirely possible. But here I'm going to go with them Andrew Booth. I think they need another corner to pair alongside, Bryce Hall, who was pretty decent, but he's not amazing. But I think you need another corner there. Washington is in dire need of some more interior line depth. Brandon Sherfield is good. Eric Flowers has been much better. But then you have like Charles Leno on the outside, players like that. So I think you could go lineman here in general. I think wide receiver is possible. You have Terry McLaurin, but then next to him, you drafted a couple last year with Dax Mullane. And I cannot think of who else, but over there last year. But I think it's high possible you go wide receiver here. I think linebacker could be in play. I don't think they would, but I think it could be in play. Quarterback is something they very much need, but I can't see drafting a quarterback here. I just don't think they need one. I am going to go with Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner. I wish he would fall to the Eagles, but I don't believe that would happen. I mean, it's possible, 15. But I'm not gonna not draft somebody to go to the Eagles because I think that's a very realistic pick for them. Coming in 12 here, I want to. The Vikings are such a good team that aren't missing a certain player. I mean, maybe quarterback if they are not going to move along with Kirk Cousins, which it doesn't look like they will. I don't think wide receiver is going to be a huge need right now. I mean, it's possible you could draft one later to maybe succeed Adam Thielen or KJ Osborne, who looked good in the beginning of the season. But I think you need to go a more important position here. I think go edge, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go George Karlaftis here. Like I said, I don't think he's the best, but I think he's still very good. And I think he's good enough that he deserves to be drafted in the top 15 to 20, but I don't think he deserves to be a top 10, maybe top 8 pick. I don't think that's a realistic thing for him. The Browns need wide receiver very badly. You lost Odell. You have Jarvis Landry. You have Donovan Peoples-Jones. Those two are good. They're not great. Neither of them are great. You need that wide receiver, which is what Odell was supposed to be. He didn't. He wasn't. That's okay. But you need that wide receiver. You need that guy. And in my opinion, I think Chris Olave is good. I don't think he's that guy, though. I think Treylon Burks, despite being ranked lower on this website, I think he 100% goes here. And that's a great pick. Maybe it's a little early for him. I don't think so. I think that's a great pick. Treylon Burks, I don't know how many of you have watched him. It's Arkansas. Nobody's really watching Arkansas. But let's see what NFL Draft Network has. He's Alshon Jeffrey. I think that's pretty good. Plays very similar. He's good. He's lengthy. He's amazing. Can't go wrong with a player like that. And somebody that they seriously need. The Ravens need to get. The Ravens need to get interior offensive line. The Ravens offensive line has been destroyed. Orlando Brown left in the offseason, got traded. You have Ronnie Stanley, who was injured this year. Their offensive line was absolutely destroyed, and Tyler Linderbaum. Linderbaum is the best interior offensive lineman in this draft, and I think 100% you go there. Doesn't really need to be much else about that. You don't really need to think about that pick. You need to go with him. That's what you need to do. Um, with the board working out this way, I have Devin Lloyd still here, going to the Eagles. The Eagles are not known for drafting linebackers in the first round. Do I think they will this year? Not necessarily. Do I think they should if Devin Lloyd is still there? Absolutely. He's amazing. Great player. I've seen him play. I'm not a huge college football guy, but I try to watch as much as I can to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to be seeing in the draft. And he's a great player. I think he deserves 100% to be a first round pick. I don't even know if he'll fall this far, but the way the board worked out, Devin Lloyd's still there. Eagles go with him 100%. Coming up with the next Eagles pick, I think a corner could be in play here, but I don't think any of these corners are what we should be picking right now. I think you could go Jaquan Brisker, but I think he'd be better at 19. I think you could go wide receiver. Very realistic pick there. Personally, I would go Garrett Wilson. I think he's a much better player than that, than where he's ranked. You don't need running back. You don't need. I mean, interior defensive line. You very much need. DeMarvin Leal, I think would be a great pick, which is who I'm going to go with. DeMarvin Leal is amazing. I don't know how many of you guys have watched him, but he was very much looked upon as a great defensive lineman going into this draft, and kind of fell a little bit, but he's awesome. I think the Eagles would be ecstatic to take a player like that in this draft right now, and I am certainly not going to pass on him anymore. You're going to come into the Chargers pick, and the Chargers can be a little more difficult. They need offensive line. They need an offensive tackle. I think Charles Cross is what I'm going to go here. Like I said, he could go earlier. He could have went way earlier. Places like the Giants, things like that. I'm going to go with him now at 17. Do I think he'll be that far on the board? Not a chance. But right now, I'm going to pick him. Right now, this is obvious. I think you can make an argument between Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams as right here. Maybe even Drake London. I think all those players deserve to go. Could go right here. I think when you have Michael Thomas there, you're going to be looking for that number 2 wide receiver, which I think Chris Olave is never going to be that one. He's never going to be that number 1 wide receiver. He's never going to be the best on the team. But having him as the second, able to get open, able to run deep, pretty good hands, not great length, but pretty good hands, good rack. I think he's going to be what you pick here. Great player. I think you deserve to get him here. Eagles coming up again, and like I said, Jaquan Brisker. I'm going to take him right here. I'm not a Penn State fan, but I have watched many Penn State games since I get to my area. He looked great. I think he 100% deserves to go in the first round. I'm going to take him here for the Eagles. Do we need a safety as our number 1 need? No. But Howie Roseman has shown many times that he is going to pick a safety over a corner 100% of the time. And that's completely okay. Safeties are very valuable. And I think that you deserve to pick one right here, right now. I'm coming up with 20. The Steelers, who, again, were just like the Eagles, barely made the playoffs, but weren't, we're going to go with, This is a hard pick for the Eagles. Not for the Eagles, for the Steelers. I think a D lineman here is in play. I don't think you need to go corner. Their defense is very good, but, I mean, the offensive line is struggling. I'm going to give Kenyon Green here. Another good player. I don't know a ton about him, I'm going to be honest. Some players I just don't know a ton about. I try to keep up as much as I can, but like I said, I'm not a huge college football guy. I'm going to Kobe Dean here. Patriots looked amazing last year. Mac Jones not freshman year, whatever you want to say, his rookie year. Overall, they looked very good though. They lost to the Bills. They got blown out. Defense didn't look great that game. Their defense is getting up there in age. I mean, you have some young players like Chase Winovich, Christian Barmore. You have some young guys there. J.C. Jackson's young, but you need to kind of build up that defense again, like it was in the earlier 2010s with Donta Hightower, Gerard Mayo, players like that. Chandler Jones for a while. Build up that defense like it was before. I think you'll be set. Coming in to the Raiders pick, the Raiders overperformed immensely, and I don't think there's a way in hell Jordan Davis passes the Raiders. They need that defensive tackle badly there. They don't have that guy. They haven't had that guy in forever. You had Khalil Mack for a while, who obviously was on the inside, but as an edge rusher, he was that guy. They don't have that right now. Clelin Ferrell hasn't worked out very well. Max Crosby is awesome. He's amazing. Yannick Ngakoue has been good, but you don't have like that guy. You don't have that amazing guy. Jordan Davis, is absurd. and he 100% should go in the first round. And I don't even know if he'll make it this far, but that's how the board worked out, like I said. So I think right there, you go with him. Um, Here I'm gonna go probably any of these corners. I think could be in play. I think you look for that slot guy here, that fast slot guy, and Trent McDuffie is that fast slot guy. So I'm gonna go there. Not much needs to be said. I guess I didn't click the Cowboys pick, so it did just skip their pick, but that's okay. It's the Cowboys. No, nobody really cares. I guess they picked Jermaine Johnson. Okay. It's my bad. The Bills here. The Bills are. I mean, the Bills are amazing. Do they need any specific pick into your offensive line? Their defenses looked good. Maybe some more corner depth. Safeties are outstanding. I mean, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are two amazing safeties. Um, I think I could give them. I don't think there's any interior offensive linemen that really work out right now. I think a running back could be in play, but I don't think a running back should go in the first round this year, especially this year or in general, but especially this year. I'm gonna give them Roger McCreary, a corner, kind of build up that corner depth. You saw when Trey White went out, Tre'Davious White went out, their defense fell off a little bit. I mean, you lost that number one corner that you had, top 6, 7 corner right there. You lost him, and that's gonna really hurt you. So I understand that that's gonna you kind of need that player. Right here, I'm gonna go another wide receiver, Jameson Williams. Do they need another wide receiver? Absolutely. Is there better options available? Arguably Drake London, I could say. Garrett Wilson, I think, could be better. But right now, I'm going to go Jameson Williams. I think you have an Alabama wide receiver. You don't see them often fail. Many times you see wide receivers, Jalen Reagor, unfortunately, players like Corey Davis, Corey Davis is much better now, but they didn't really work out. John Ross, players like that in the recent years, haven't been great. I don't think you're going to see that of Alabama wide receiver. They usually work out. Jameson Williams has been good, and he will continue to be very good. So right there, I'm going to go with him. This is a hard one for when you look at the Buccaneers, because they don't really need, like I said, it's the Buccaneers, you know. You got a great team there. Maybe you go another corner. Maybe you go safety. You don't really need it with Anton Winfield and Jordan Whitehead. But I don't think, I mean, maybe your best option is to grab a left tackle. You could, I think it's entirely possible that they draft someone like Trevor Penning and work him into the left tackle role to take over Donovan Smith when he retires, who isn't that great anyway. You have Tristan Wirfs, and having Trevor Penning and Tristan Wirfs on opposite sides would be outstanding for whatever the next quarterback is, or if it's, you know, Tom Brady for the next 40 years. I don't know. Maybe it is. Man doesn't retire, so who knows. But right now we're going to go with a offensive tackle to go aside Tristan Wirfs. Now we have the Packers, who, you know, blew their game in the playoffs, which they are known to do. And I think an edge would be amazing here. We're going to go Trayvon Walker out of Georgia. There's not a whole lot I can say about these picks right now. They're kind of just good players that need to go where they need to go. Here I'm going to, again, kind of just going right down the board right now. Need offensive line. Need it bad. A player that you need to pick up right now, or a position you need to pick up on right now. Obviously, the Bengals are in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, which is coming up this weekend. But that doesn't mean they're the best team ever, and they might lose. Even if they win and go to the Super Bowl, I think offensive line needs to be in play. That thing, I mean, Joe Burrow is getting destroyed back there, and he's able to figure it out. But I think if you continue to do that, you're going to have issues. Someone's going to get hurt. You don't want that to happen. I don't think they need wide receivers. I don't think you don't need a running back for Joe Mixon. You really need to either work up that defense a little bit, pick another corner. I mean, you have Eli Apple, you know, the best player ever. But you can maybe work up that defense a little bit to go aside Jesse Bates, Mike Hilton, players like that. Defensive line looks good, but I think right now you need to build up the offensive line, which is what I have them doing. Here you have the 49ers pick, which is obviously the Dolphins pick now after the trade. The Dolphins are an interesting team that I think could go wide receiver here. Go against Jalen Waddle. Devonta Parker might not be there that much longer. Kind of get that other wide receiver in there. I think could be a very good pickup. Kind of really work up that offense to help Tua out. I think a running back, again, could be in play. I don't think you should pick a running back in the first round, like I said, but I think it's possible they could go with one. Myles Gaskin is not very good. No matter what his on and off games tell you, he's not very good. I'm going to have them going Zion Johnson here to work up that offensive line to go with Robert Hunt. mean, you lost Larry Tunsil years ago, and you never found that left tackle to fix it. You got those picks from them, but you never found that left tackle for the future like you had. Um, so I'm gonna go with the player that I think you deserve to go there. I'm gonna go Drake London here. I don't think you can pass. I don't think he makes it out of the first round. I don't think he deserves to. And when you have a team like the Lions, who again needs everything, I mean, they need way more than just one player. Working up that wide receiver core to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You had Tyler Williams. He wasn't very good. Amon-Ra St. Brown looked good. Khalif Raymond had his moments. You pick up another player to go with those two. I think you got a good wide receiver group for the future, at least with the two of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Drake London. I think that's a good wide receiver core. Maybe it's not going to be the best. Maybe you'll never be the best one, but I think that's a good one. And I think when you're in this situation, the best thing you can do is just pick the best player. You're not a good team. You're not going to be a great team. Pick the best player you can. The Chiefs do not need much. Go work that defense again. You need to fix Daniel Sorensen. He's terrible. Get rid of him. Get out of here. Daxton Hill from Michigan. We're gonna go with. And that's gonna end off the draft. Let me know what you guys think. I believe this was a pretty good draft for every team. I tried my best to not be too biased towards the Eagles. Tried my best to get players to go where I think they will, but also what I think should happen. This isn't a necessary like 100% this will happen. More of a I think this should happen. I think there's players on here that you could argue shouldn't go there, like Matt Corral in the first round. I don't think should happen. Ahmad Gardner maybe goes a little early. Maybe goes a little earlier, maybe goes a little later. There's a lot of question marks in this draft. A lot of great players, but also a lot of question marks. Zion Johnson, I don't think he's 100% here. I don't think that's a great pick, but when you're in the moment, I don't really know what other players to go with. But I think overall these are some pretty good picks. I think Treylon Burks is an amazing pick here for the Browns. If that happens in real life, I think they'll be ecstatic about that. They should be. Kyle Hamilton for the Giants. Unfortunately, that's a great pick. They deserve that 100%. But I think that's gonna end off the video, guys. This is my first video on the Bird Central channel. I'm sure all of you that are watching this are going to be coming from my Instagram page, so this is going to be the first time you're seeing my face. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now you know what I look like. More to come. Keep checking out the Instagram page for updates on this. Maybe you'll see more. I hope so, but I only have 8 subscribers, so you're not going to get a ton of videos when I'm not able to do anything with it. But I hope you guys all enjoyed, and that's going to be about it. Enjoy your day, guys.